Hello, everybody. It's Vervain. As you may know, if you've been following me on Instagram, I've been getting really into bullet journaling lately, and I just started actually at the beginning of this past March, so I've been doing it for 1 month now. And I wanted to do a little plan with me for April and then also flip through and show you my March pages. So I'm still a little sick. If my voice sounds funny, that's why. So let's get right into it. This first end page and these first few pages, when I first started bullet journaling at the beginning of March, I really was like, I need a new system to organize my life. I want to get right into it. So I didn't spend a whole lot of time making my initial March setup pages look really pretty or anything. I just set up the very bare bones of what I needed to get started, and then ended up kind of adding some decoration to it later. So this is the closest thing I have to a March title page. It's just got a very bare bones list of things that are happening in March, just like a little to-do list, a little calendar that just shows the days of the week with the days of the month, no room to write anything on, and just a few important things that happened. Like up at the top on the right, you can see I got engaged recently, and the official proposal was in February, and then we did a hand fasting in March, and so I wanted to commemorate that there, and so I did, and that's what all that's about. And then I got started right away on my dailies before I even made my tracker, as you can see here. This is my monthly tracker for March, and I tried to make it inspiring so that I would enjoy going back to it every day. As you can probably see, the things towards the top were things I really wanted to make sure that I did every day. The things towards the middle were things that I wanted to do more often than not, but, we're working on building good habits. And then things towards the bottom were things that I just wanted to know how often it happens. Like, how often do I fill up my car with gas? Or when am I on my moon time? Or et cetera, et cetera. So I will say I definitely noticed that the times when I was sick, I didn't make a tracker for when am I healthy and when am I sick, because I wasn't really planning on being sick for half the month. But I did make a note down below, right underneath the tracker. I don't know if you can see it. It says where I was sick. And if you look up, you can tell, I really fell off some of my habits during the times when I was really most sick, and even now I've not been very good the last couple of days because I've been mostly in bed, except when I've had to be at work because I ain't no choice sometimes. So here we are back in my dailies. I don't set up my dailies ahead of time. I set up each day the day before, because I never know how long, and there's some Chinese practice going on in here too, but I never know how much space I'm gonna want for each day. And then also, like I said, when I was sick, I literally laid in bed for 4 days, so I was not writing to-do lists and checking them off during that period. I literally didn't bullet journal for 3 days. So I don't want to set up a whole week and then waste all that space. I am a person who fills up journals cover to cover, and I don't have to earn my beauty sleep. Such an important notion. That came out of one of the oracle readings that I did this month on one of the editions of Morning Ritual, I believe. But yeah, so I like to go and kind of decorate my pages a couple spreads at a time, just add some stickers and some washi tape and make it exciting to get there. Oh, you can see here as I was doing this flip through, I decided that I could not leave this blank space behind this space up in the top right. I'd had a post-it there that was reminding me of an upcoming event, and then I moved it later, and now as I'm doing the flip through, I'm like, I can't have this empty space, so you can watch me find some stickers and flip it through, fill it up with pretty things. Anyhow, yeah, I like to go through a couple 2-page spreads at a time and just add some stickers and some washi tape and maybe a few doodles or something. And then I'll add my days one day at a time, and I'll add a header for the day. And sometimes I'll include the moon phase. I'm not quite in a set pattern yet for how I set my days up. yeah, and then I'll write my to-do list, which I just do pretty typical bullet journal style. I just use dots for my to-do list. And then if it's done, I cross it out with an X. If I'm rescheduling it for the future, I put an arrow. If I haven't yet done it or rescheduled it, I do it with a dot. I just leave the dot and then I'll reschedule it at some point. If I decide not to do it, I just cross the whole line out. And if it's started but not finished, I half cross it out. And then if I make notes after, the notes are demarcated with a little like dash instead of a dot. And sometimes I do make notes. Some days I've made like pages and pages of notes. So it is a real thing that happens. Here I just decided to dedicate a page to things I'm grateful for, and you'll see that come up next month. And here we are, just back at more dailies. I just wanted to show off. Oh, I love this spread. I really do love this spread. I love all of these. I got a bunch of washi tape stickers from Wish, or like washi stickers from Wish, and I love them. I really couldn't be happier with that purchase. These are also from Wish. Not the tapes mostly, although some of them are. Like this little witch girl is actually from a washi tape that I got on Wish, like actual tape, and the city too. Anyhow, they have some really cool, pretty craft stuff if you're into all this. So, oh, and then yeah, here I got fed up too with this blank space up at the top. I couldn't leave it. Also, if you know me at all, you know I bring my witchiness and my magic into literally everything I do. So I couldn't leave it out of my bullet journal. And it's really kind of like half bullet journal, half book of shadows, or book of mirrors, or whatever you want to call it. And a lot of the big hand lettering that I do in the margins and across the pages is affirmations from either from affirmation card pulls that I've done, or just from other places that I find in life, or just things that I feel like I need to hear. So I wrote it down. And we did a morning ritual pull with a couple cards from the moon deck on the past full moon. And we pulled 3 cards that really, really spoke to me. And I am ready, thank you, was one of the ones that really, really spoke to me. So I felt the need to bring that here. And then you probably saw on the previous page I had, now is the time to integrate all that I have gathered. And then this one was another one that came from that same reading, I believe, and it was, I focus on what is working. And I really needed to hear that then, and I really need to hear that now, because when I am this sick in the middle of really trying to get my life in order, I have to focus on what's working, because if I focus on what's not working, it's really depressing, and it makes me just want to stay in bed forever. So that's it for March, and here's my back end page again. And then this is still totally in progress, but this is a recipe collection that I'm working on. It's not like the full recipes or anything. It's just a lot of the basic information that I need for a lot of the recipes that I cook really frequently, so that I can easily put together grocery lists and meal plans, and hopefully don't have to look up like baking times and temperatures as often. I didn't write down steps like combine what ingredients or whatever. It's just like list of ingredients, sometimes separated by category if it's a complicated recipe. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I haven't actually transferred that many recipes in here yet. I'm kind of doing it as I go. So I think there's only 7 or 8 in here right now. I'm hoping to get the whole page pretty much filled up with our most common recipes. And in the end, it'll probably take up multiple pages, but we'll see. And then this I'm actually super, super proud of. I haven't really shown this off yet because it's very personal and I don't really want to talk about it. But this is my weight loss tracker, and I started at 187.8 pounds when I weighed myself a couple weeks ago. And so far I've lost 10.2 pounds. And I haven't shown like the exact weights in my progress. I just put whole numbers on the stepping stones. And then once I get at or below the weight on the stepping stone, I fill in the date on the stone, and I'm allowed to color up to that point. I haven't totally colored up to the point where I've reached, but I'm only like 2 stones ahead. I kind of probably will only color when I reach the major goals every 5 pounds. I had a lot of fun drawing this. It honestly took me like 6 hours to draw. I started sketching it at like 9 p.m. one night and finished around 3 a.m. So here we are at April. I've already penciled in a lot of the major stuff so I know where it goes. I don't have to make any major decisions while we're doing this. So mostly you're going to be watching me inking and making things pretty. So here we go. So, like I said, when I started bullet journaling in March, I really was desperate for a tool to help me organize my life. So, I didn't spend a whole lot of time making anything pretty. I hardly made a March cover page at all. And now that I am kind of being intentional about this, I really want to take the time actually to make an April cover page and make it pretty and make it kind of reflect the season and how I feel, and almost make it like a little vision board for what I want to experience this season. And so Alice is like adventure to me, I always feel like, and you can never have too many roses on a spread. That's a rule. And then I had this little handmade paper that I wanted to include. I have a bunch of handmade paper that I don't even know where I got a lot of it. And for some reason, I feel like actually I have like hordes of paper crafting supplies that I have because they're pretty and I love them, but have never used, either because they're pretty and I love them and I don't want to use them up, or because I just haven't known what to use them for. And so I've been going through a lot of them, making vision boards, but I actually went through and got rid of a lot of them recently. I KonMari'd my craft supplies, and I really actually did KonMari my paper craft supplies, including every single paper embellishment. I got rid of things I didn't want, or that didn't really spark joy, that I didn't think I would use or have a project in mind for. And only kept things that I loved and that I really thought I would use. And then I separated them by size into different plastic bags, mostly deli bags or Ziploc bags. And you can see I've also got my stickers in these cool clear plastic envelopes that I got off of Amazon. I will probably link those below, actually. Highly recommend these for organizing stickers. I've tried all sorts of different things. I tried having them in like a 3-ring binder and page protectors, and they just all slide around in the page protector, and the page protector doesn't seal, and the page protectors are kind of floppy, and so I really wasn't happy with that solution. But I've been really happy with this folder solution, and I'm really happy with how my April collage turned out. So check that out. Alright, moving on. So I have never done this before, and I decided to make like an actual month-long calendar here on this page to kind of lay out my main appointments and things for the month. So I'll have my work schedule and paydays and things like that on here, as well as any appointments or plans that I make with friends. And they'll just be indicated with a highlight of a certain color and then a time. Also, I've never really been a big ruler person. As you can see, I did actually decide to start trying to use a ruler at the beginning of this calendar, and then towards the end, my last couple lines, I couldn't get a solid marking with the ruler, so I just decided to use my pen and forget about the ruler, because I can draw mostly straight line, and I'm not trying to be a computer or anything anyway. It serves a purpose. I'm not super OCD or anything, so it's not going to bother me if my lines aren't perfectly straight. Sorry if it bothers you, but I'm not really sorry, because it's my bullet journal and I do what I want. Anyhow, yeah, so here I am filling in the days for the month, and then I just wanted to indicate that the last couple days are actually May, not April, so we did that. And then you'll see me, I'll go back later and start to actually fill in some of the things so you can see how it works. I also wanted to, this idea was given to me by Jessica the Story Witch, who's also over on YouTube and on Instagram, and I'll link her down below. And she gave me the idea to use a deck of the month and also pull a card of the month. And I don't remember, I think she does actually sometimes do tarot and oracle, or maybe she just did tarot, or maybe just one deck, I don't know. But anyhow, I decided to pick a tarot deck and an oracle deck. And the tarot deck that I picked for this month is the Good Tarot. I just felt really drawn to it, and I pulled the 10 of Fire there. And then the oracle deck that I pulled for this month, or picked for this month, is the one that I am giving away in my Pink Moon Challenge on Instagram. If you haven't joined the Pink Moon Challenge and you're on Instagram and that sounds at all interesting to you, I will link that below and you can find the details. There's a giveaway. I'm actually giving away a copy of the Illustrated Herbiary, which comes with the Oracle deck. That is the Oracle deck that I'm using for my Oracle deck of the month. And I drew White Willow, I think it's called, or maybe it's just Willow. I think it's White Willow. And then the kind of like the caption for that card is the Ways of Water. So I thought it was really interesting that my 2 cards of the month are the Ten of Fire and the Ways of Water. And I feel like I am going to need to learn to balance, kind of like the fire and the water sides. What that feels like to me is the balance between like my passion and my vigor and my motivation to like push forward and push through and do the thing and do the project. And then the Ways of Water is like, yeah, like, you know, do the thing, but also like be receptive to the way that the world around you is moving and flowing and the opportunities that come to you as they come. And, you know, don't be super rigid in your schedule. Like, be willing to move things around for, you know, leave room for magic, essentially. Leave room for the magic to happen. And, you know, not to let my fire get in the way of being receptive to the magic of the flow. And especially, like, that especially rings true with, because I wonder how much of, because I literally have been sick 2 full weeks out of this month so far, in March. And I wonder, like, it seems really odd that the month that I start really trying to get my life in order and exercising regularly and eating really well and keeping track of all these things, and I applied to college and I did all these good things, and like this is the month that my body is just like, no, we're gonna actually pretend to die on you instead. And I'll have you know, I made plenty of time and room for some serious self-care in March, both before and after I got sick. In fact, the night before I got sick the first time, I was in this amazing tent herbal steam sauna with my friends in my backyard under the beautiful moon outside, and it was lovely. And then I slept outside, and that was also lovely. And then I woke up with a horrible sore throat, and I died. The end. Over here on the right is my to do in April list, and a lot of these things are going to be things that aren't yet on the calendar on the left and will need to go on there, or things that are on the calendar on the left and I wanted to add more details over on the right. Or it's just going to be like general to-do list that doesn't get scheduled on that calendar but needs to get scheduled on my daily to-do lists. Anyhow, here we are moving forward to my April tracker. I didn't like fully ink in these letters on the video. I ended up doing that at night in bed between the halves of this video. It took me 2 mornings to film this because I worked both days and I woke up late because I was sick. But anyhow, and then you'll see again, I did not use, sorry if you're OCD and don't like not perfectly straight lines, but it's a dot grid journal. It gives you, it's like a dotted line. It tells you where to draw. It's just like connect the dots. Anyhow, yeah, I'm not using a ruler and no regrets. I don't regret it. So this is going to be my April tracker. Maybe you can tell I'm tracking a lot more things than I did on my March tracker. Partially because my March tracker was just kind of thrown together at the last minute, like, I need to do this. And then during March, I actually kept a list. I don't know if you saw it, probably not, because we probably went over it really fast. But I actually kept a list of things that I wanted to track in April. Like things that I kept wishing I had on my March tracker and didn't. And I was like, oh, I'm going to add this next month. And then I've also transferred over most of the things that I was tracking in March. And then some of the things that I was tracking in March, I've broken down into multiple separate trackers. So, like, I was tracking how often I, like, work on a personal project. But I found that that wasn't specific enough in March. And so now instead I am tracking how often I make art, how often I play music, how often I work on my tea book. I didn't make a tracker for how often I work on YouTube videos, but I kind of want to do that, but I think instead of tracking it, I'm going to add them to, like, I'm going to add, like, a few videos that I want to do this month to my April to-do list. Because I know I haven't been on here that much recently, and part of that's just because it turns out I hibernate in winter. And I've kind of been in denial about this for a few years, but then winter comes and then I hibernate, and then there's like nothing I can do about it. I just don't want to be social. I don't want to make content. I don't want to do anything. I just want to hide out. And then spring comes and I'm like, yay, life. The world is beautiful. Everything is beautiful and awesome. I love all my friends. I hope they're still my friends since I haven't talked to anyone in 3 months. And, you know, actually my friends are really pretty great, understanding people. So it mostly works out. And also, like, my really close friends I do see over the winter. It's just hard, man. I don't know what's the deal with me and seasons. But anyhow, next week I'm planning for my winter hibernation rather than letting myself sign up for all sorts of responsibilities in autumn and then not being able to follow through with them because winter comes and my soul is done with the world. Okay, so here we are. It's day 2 of working on my April setup, also known as, this was April 1st now when I was filming this. And I just started by coloring in a few things that I had left uncolored and, you know, sprucing a few things up, making them a little prettier. And I also changed a few things overnight. I did those little strawberries. I don't know what it's called. It's like this little roller, kind of like whiteout tape roller, but instead of rolling out whiteout, it rolls out little strawberries. And I got it in Japan, and I wish that I knew like what to call it so that I could search for more of these things in different patterns because I love it and I want more of them. It's so much fun. So if you know what those are called, let me know. Get back to me. I want more. I want to roll all the pretty pictures. Okay, so here are my highlighters that I got out to work on my schedule. And here I am markering in my work schedule. And I made a mistake there. I did something in the wrong color, so I ended up just layering colors and making a new color, which is good because I actually needed another color. So it all worked out in the end. Serendipity. And I think I'm going to mark in my paydays here. Yep, that's what I'm doing. And now we're probably moving on. That's the day that I have to decide whether or not I'm going to stay at the Citrine Palace or move on from here. And unfortunately, it's not just up to me. It's up to me and Sean and Laura. And we're not all sure exactly what we want. So, oh yeah, and I have to make my tracker pretty. So let's make my tracker pretty. Again, these are some more washi stickers that I got from Wish. And I love them, and they're all so pretty, and I wanted to use all of them. Unfortunately, I didn't have room to use all of them, so I had to pick and choose. And my God, it took me a long time to decide what stickers I wanted to put on here. I've literally, this is like 12 times sped up from reality, and I went through so many different stickers trying to make a fucking decision. God damn it, Vervain. Anyhow, this is why usually I do stickers before I do my hand lettering, so I don't have to make my stickers fit perfectly around my hand lettering. If you do the stickers first, you can do whatever stickers you want, and then you can just make your hand lettering fit around the stickers, because hand lettering is way more flexible than stickers, it turns out. Oh yeah, down there at the bottom, that's my antibiotics tracker. So I gotta be on antibiotics for 10 days, and I just wanted the full 10 days on there, so it starts with 3 days of March. That's what's going on there. So speaking of lettering before adding stickers, that's what's going on here. I ended up not sticking this sticker down because I felt like I wanted to place it around the lettering and I didn't know exactly where I was going to want to put it. So I just tucked it in the page and I'll stick it down later once I write some things. Then of course we had to add more stickers to the tracker. Never too many, never too many. Plus, you gotta have lots of fairies, because you gotta have that fairy magic to keep you on track when you're trying to build good habits. One day at a time. One day at a time, my lads. Oh yeah, so this is another idea that I got from Jessica the Story Witch. Thanks, Jessica. You gave me lots of good ideas, or I stole them. You know, take your pick of how that story goes. But she had all these different gratitude trackers in her different months. I think she was doing like one side I'm grateful for and one side I went outside for. And that's great too. But I just wanted to do gratitude. And so I thought, why not a rose? So that's what this is. And then in each petal throughout the month. And I didn't want to like assign a day to each petal or anything. I'm just going to fill it out as I go. And if I don't fill it out every day, it's not the biggest thing. But I do want to have the rose filled up by the end of the month with things that I am grateful for. So I started out by being grateful for spring flowers and cuddles on cold mornings. And what's going on here? Oh, yeah. So one thing that I like to do with my habit trackers that I did this last month and it really worked out well for me is add a piece of washi tape along the edge of the page so that I can easily find the page from anywhere in the book. And yeah, so I can just look at my book from the side, like while it's closed, and I can see like that strip of green is where my March tracker was. That strip of pink now, or mauve, or whatever color you want to call that, is where my April tracker is. So then I just wanted to go ahead and set up my first daily and decorate my first daily page. And usually I decorate a couple pages at a time for my dailies, just to make it exciting to move on to the next day. But I was kind of running short on time while I was filming this video, so I only decorated this one 2-page spread. And of course, I had to pull the cards for my first day, because I also wanted to pull, I have my cards of the month, but I also wanted to pull cards of the day. So we did that, and yeah, so anyhow, I wanted to do a final kind of slow, regular speed flip through of the finished April setup. So here we go. This is my cover page again. Then we've got the calendar with the cards of the month and the decks of the month, and the general April to-do list, not yet filled out, with its sticker not yet stuck down, of course. And then we've got my April tracker, tracking lots of things this month with, of course, lots of stickers to keep us motivated. And that nice little washi tab on the edge. Oh yeah, and I'm going to show you kind of how this works for me. And yeah, I can find pretty easily where that, I mean, it's still hard to grab it, but it's easy to find it, where that March tracker is, and same story with finding the April one. Yeah, and then moving on again, we've got the gratitude tracker, and I like this regular speed too because it gets you better resolution, so I think you can see better the details of what's going on here. Yeah, and I'm wanting to fill it out with pink pen, of course, so it looks like a rose when it's done. And then, oh yeah, so I didn't mention this before, but I've got a water tracker, or a sleep tracker here. I've just written down a Z for every full hour of sleep I got. And the water tracker here where I'll fill out a water droplet for each 8 ounces of water that I drink. And then on the right, I've written down my cards of the day. And then on the left, I've written down my to-do list, and I'm checking off finishing filming my Plan With Me video, because that's what we're doing right now. And yeah, so thank you for joining me through this on this journey. Let me know what you thought, if there was anything that you found particularly helpful or anything you would have liked to see more of or hear explained better. If you have any constructive criticism, if you'd like to see another one of these for next month, let me know. If you have any bright ideas that you think might be helpful for my own bullet journal practice, I would love to hear them, or anyone else's videos that you recommend. I love a good Plan With Me video. So yeah, look forward to hearing from you. Again, check out the links below. I'll have a bunch of relevant stuff down there for you. And I hope to see you all again soon. Love you. Have a great day.